Good morning, everybody. So, Dota just released 7.06 with no warning, of course, as per usual, because that would just be too easy. But let's go and take a look, right? Let's go and see what this is all about. Let's see what's in there. Let's see what we can use. I haven't had a chance to look at it at all. This is going to be my genuine first reaction to everything happening in the patch. I'll tell you what I think, and then I'll also make videos that are like more detailed, and they'll like show things in I don't know, like I guess more in detail, right? But right now we're just gonna do an overview of the patch. So, gameplay update 7.06. General deny mechanics. So this one's already a huge one. Creep denies now granted denying team 30% of the experience bounty. Normal deny experience increased from 50% to 70%. So before, if I denied a creep, they got 50% of the experience, and that's it, right? So essentially 50% of the experience that creep gave just disappeared off the map. With this new mechanic, it is now very rewarding to deny creeps because you're actually getting a little bit of experience as well. But really, I think the main change here is this really just brings a lot more experience into play. Right, this makes it so there's going to be a lot more experience across the board. Yeah, let me go over here. This is probably better. Right, there's a lot more experience across the board that is now available to heroes in Dota. As a result, the game has now again been sped up. It's gonna be going faster again because you're now getting more experience. Just in general, you're just getting more experience, right? So this is actually a really big change. This is going to speed up leveling a lot. Now, it's not actually like that crazy in the later stages of the game, so I think it's not going to be too impactful for like levels, let's say 15 to 25, right? That's not really that important. However, what is kind of important is the early game, right? And that's really where you deny, right? The first 10-15 minutes is when you spend a lot of time farming and denying creeps in lane, and that's when this will really matter. And in that period, you will level up a lot more. This also makes it so that, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's now better or worse to deny a lot of stuff, you know, like if you think to, you know, like for example, Dendy, right? Dendy does a lot of denying in lane. That's kind of a thing he is known for, right? He like really values getting those denies, values them even over getting last hits. That previously led to the situation where the enemy only had 50% experience, and you know, he got, let's say, 100%, right? So assume the following: I deny every single creep in my wave. You don't deny any, right? So I get 100% experience, you get 50%. Now, if I do that same thing, you'll get 70% and I'll get 130%, which is kind of about the same, right? You can see that the gap in between isn't really that significant. Like before it was kind of double, well, it was double, right? Like I got 100, you got 50. Now I get 130 and you get 70, which is almost twice as much, right? The gap has been lessened a little bit, but not really too significantly. However, you can see that the overall amount of experience in play went from 150% to 200, which is, you know, kind of the big thing here. Anyway, shrines now start on cooldown and become available at 5 minutes. This is a nerf to the early game, especially for the off lane and the mid lane. Reduce shrine count and base from 5 to 3. Sure, I don't really have much of an opinion on that. Shrine's mana regeneration growth per minute reduced from 1 to 0.75. I can definitely agree with that. Later on in the game, I've always felt like the shrines were too powerful. Mostly not so much because of the physical healing, or like the health healing, but it was about the mana, right? Like you, even super late into the game, you could go to a shrine and click on it and you'll have full mana again. I don't really think that's how it should work, right? Like I feel like shrines should really become worse. Lanes added an extra melee creep in mid lane for the first 15 minutes. Oh my god. Until the first melee upgrade wave at 15 minutes, at which point all lanes have the standard extra melee. That is crazy. That means, again, there's just so much more. That just adds a lot of value to the mid lane. Let me go ahead and just look up really quick. Melee creep Dota. Right, so just some regular creep, lane creep. We have our melee creep. How much experience does this thing give? A melee creep gives you, I think, 45. Yes, 45 experience, and a range creep gives you 90. That means it has now, like, there's now been 90 extra experience that has been added into the mid lane. Actually, even more than that, right? Because you now have the new dynamic mechanics. You're gonna be leveling up very quickly in the mid. It's actually kind of crazy. Well, that is really interesting. I wonder how that's gonna play out. So the mid is gonna be incredibly valuable now, and fighting over the mid, I don't know if it's going to become more or less, right? Like, the thing is, like, the mid is now so valuable because of that extra creep that I feel like people want to fight over it. But at the same time, the mid heroes will become strong and really strong. Now, let me go ahead and see. I saw somebody in chat mention that they changed the melee experience creep. Melee creep experience. I haven't gotten to that point yet, so maybe that's gonna come up later on. Anyway, creeps meet a bit closer to the offlane tower. Yeah, sure. Creeps aggro duration reduced from 2.5 to 2.3, and creep aggro cooldown increased from 2.5 to 3.0. This makes harassing easier. In case you don't know what these numbers mean, it's kind of complicated. I don't really want to explain it right now. It would just take a while, but it does mean that harassing on a very high skill level has now become easier and become more powerful. So this probably won't impact most players in the game, but it is still kind of a thing. Anyway, lane creeps vision reduced from 850/800 to 750. Okay, that's not too big of a deal. It probably will matter a little bit for pulling, but I'm not entirely sure. Neutrals will now spawn every minute instead of every 2 minutes. Neutrals now give 20% less experience in gold. Neutrals XP and gold now increase by 2% every 7.5 minutes when creeps are upgraded. This is a very big change. I actually really love this. I'm very happy they are bringing back spawns every minute. I didn't like spawns every 2 minutes because it kind of made stacking not really a thing. Stacking is now definitely a thing again. The neutrals now give 20% less experience in gold. That hardly matters, right? So 20% less experience in gold means we have 80%, we have 160% overall. So yet again, we have kind of like 60% added into the game overall. So as opposed to having 100% golden experience from the neutrals, if you clear out every single cap every time they spawn, every single camp every time they spawn, they now give... You know, like if you do the same thing now, you'll get 60% more gold and experience. That's, of course, really important, especially now that they also scale a little bit. This, again, speeds up the game and just puts more value on the map. That seems really what they're going for here. They're putting more valuable things on the map. Now, I feel like this change, however, and I really like this one, may work out very much in favor of players like me. You know, I like to just sit back and farm a lot. I don't really want to go in and... do crazy shit all the time, right? Like the famous thing is, of course, the pub train, right? Like that's what I always complain about, the pub train. I don't really like the pub train so much. This should actually lead to less pub training because there's just more stuff to do now. With the creeps only spawning every 2 minutes, there just wasn't that much to do, right? Like, you clear out the jungle and then what do you do for the next minute? There's nothing there, nothing of value. So instead of having to wait until the creeps respawn, the creeps are now there again, you can continue farming that. As a result, it now leads to less fighting, might lead to less fighting and to more farming, which, again, I'm always in favor of. I think the game is really moving away from that a little too much. I think it's a really cool component of the game. But yeah, I'm actually really happy about this change. I think this is going to be super awesome to see in action. I wonder how it's going to play out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing with this. I really am, especially since I like to play the hard carries, right? Now, a hero like Anti-Mage can just go nutty. That's actually something I'm a little bit worried about. Like, the heroes that have really good farming potential can just go super crazy right now. They can go super crazy. It's actually just dumb. Creeps, siege damage type versus structures increased from 150% to 250%. Siege creeps HP increased from 550 to 825. Siege creeps spawn rate reduced from every 7th wave to every 10th wave. An extra ranged / siege creeps now spawns at 40 minutes instead of 45. So, overall, this is the question now. Do we have more or less siege creeps? Right? Because we gain an additional one here. So usually you would have one at the 7th wave, 14th which we always need to divide that by 2, which is 3.5 minutes, 7 minutes. We would have one at 10.5, 14, 17.5, 21, right? 28. I'm just gonna go by 2s now, right? 28. We have 135. Then we go to 42, and then at 45, that's where additional ones start spawning. So we would have like about 12. Now we have one at 5, 10, 15. Yeah, I mean, there's clearly 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, and then we have 2 at 45. So it's really not that much of a difference. Like, let's say we had 45 minutes. The difference is, I think, 3 siege creeps, right? Which is not really that big of a deal. Like, that's not that much. And especially if you consider if the game goes longer than that, there's going to be more. Like, any point moving forward from there, there's going to be more creeps. I don't know if my math works out properly here. Like, honestly, I probably shouldn't do this math on the fly. This is kind of nonsense what I'm talking about right now, but you get the basic idea. The creeps are now really, really strong, though. This is something that's important to keep in mind here. Like, these are actually super crazy. 250% is insane. That is so much damage output. They're also pretty tanky now. I think the tankiness is, yeah, that's kind of nice, right? It's probably not going to matter from my experience when the siege creeps die. They just kind of die anyway, right? Like, they're just gonna get fucked up. But the 250%, like, I can totally see Lycans just get Helm of the Dominator now, dominate a siege creep, and use that. Like, that's going to do a crazy amount of damage. Like, that is, I don't know, it's an interesting little change. I think the idea here is to reduce pushing in the early game and increase it later on. So it seems to me that the goal of this change is we don't want the games to end at 20 minutes, but we do want the games to be over by 50. Right, that kind of idea. Anyway, attributes. All hero strength growth increased by 0.3. So everybody. That is kind of interesting. A regeneration coming from strength increased from 0.03 to 0.06. Reduced base regen by 0.25. Intelligence spell amplification increased. Mana point per intelligence decreased. And base mana increased. Okay. I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure what this is about. Right, but this to me seems like just kind of padding the numbers a little bit to make them bigger. Also make everybody a bit more tanky, which is actually kind of what I like to do. Like, something I'm always going for with Open Engine. I want people to be tanky. So I kind of like this because I think tanky fights make for interesting fights. When people aren't just dying instantly, that is a cool fight. Like, when you actually get to go back and forth, you fight. That is really cool. So in general, I feel like this is going to be kind of like, I like the direction this is going, although I'm just not sure how much of an impact this is going to have, right? I don't know, this is really kind of tricky math kind of stuff. Economy, reduced melee creeps experience bounty from 45 to 40. So, okay, yeah, that means less experience now. The overall experience in play will still be higher than before. Reduced melee creep gold bounty upgrade from 3 gold per cycle to 1 gold per cycle. Melee ranged barracks team bounty reduced from... Okay, so just kind of Roshan team bounty reduced, Shrine team bounty reduced, death cost reduced, okay. Tier 3 tower bounty reduced, and Tier 4 tower bounty reduced. So it seems to me they just added in a lot of money. They added in a lot of additional money into the map with, you know, the new neutral creeps, like, or I guess the old neutral creeps, like neutral creeps respawning every minute, as opposed to every 2, and they just try to remove some of that money out of the game again, right? They didn't want to just overflow the game with income, so they have reduced it a little bit at various spots. That makes sense. That seems very reasonable. The overall money in the game is still going to be higher than before. General changes. Illusion, gold, experience, bounty. Okay. That's not really that... 5 plus level to 2 times the level. Okay. Is that significant? Yeah, it goes from... At level 25, it goes from 30 to 50. I mean... Who cares? Illusion building damage reduction from 50% to 60%. Poor Terrorblade. That poor man has just been getting all illusions nerfed. Actually, I don't feel that bad for Terrorblade. I kind of feel bad for Phantom Lancer, because Phantom Lancer keeps getting fucked up. I'm really excited for this one. Roshan now drops cheese from the second half instead of the third. Oh, that is a huge change. That has been this way forever. Holy shit, that's gonna take me years to get used to. That's actually a huge change. That is so significant. I think this is, again, they are just saying, hey, we want you to end the game by like 40 minutes, right? Because think about it, when do you get your second Roshan kill? By about 40 minutes. The third one with the cheese is usually at like 60. So they are trying to say, hey, we're going to give you a really powerful tool with the second kill instead at about 40 minutes, so you can try to close out the game then. Buyback cooldown increased. Roshan, I remember on buyback didn't have a cooldown. 8 minutes. Holy shit. Roshan armor bonus increased, so he becomes more powerful late game. Power-up runes now spawned different runes on both sides of the river after 40 minutes. Okay, so after 40 minutes, there's gonna be runes everywhere. Again, right, at 40 minutes, they're adding power into the game, trying to tell you, end the game. Right, you have map control, pick up 2 double damage on both of your characters. Actually, you can't do that, but pick up a double damage and a haste there, and then just go, right? That's the idea. Uphill miss chance no longer applies to flying units. Okay, so I'm from now on only playing Batrider, so I don't uphill miss all the time. Fixed various pathing issues. Power bonus armor based on nearby enemy heroes increased. Okay. So respawn talents replaced all 42 respawn talents in the game. Good. Good. Respawn talents were bullshit. All of them. Right? This is really, really good. Respawn talents should never have been added to the game. They were complete nonsense. They should have been removed a while ago. I am super happy that they actually did this. This is something I'm very impressed by. I didn't expect it. I did not see this coming. I didn't think they were actually gonna go and just replace them. I love seeing this. This to me is Valve admitting, hey guys, we fucked up. Sorry, here, have some new talents, right? And this is great. Respawn talents should not be in the game. They are bullshit, right? So anyway, Warlock summons a Golem of Death. Yep, Warlock is a god, and I love Warlock. I'm very happy about that. That is a really cool one. Patch plus 1 second dismember duration. Oh, that's pretty strong. Magnus 500 skewer range. Okay, I guess. Lone Druid 50% Spirit Bear magic resistance. Ooh. That makes... Wow, wait a second. That makes the bear really strong. 50%, man. Holy shit, that's crazy. Okay, Lena 40 movement speed. Now, I honestly, this might be enough to just bring back the bear build. Plus 1 Malefice instance. That's really good. That's a really good one. 350 Fisher range. Cool. I mean, that seems nice. 40 battery assault damage. 10% spell lifesteal on Bristleback. That's nice. Earthspirit Geomagnetic Grip targets allies. At what level? No longer tied to Scepter. Well, it doesn't tell you what level it is, but I imagine it's gonna be a high level one. Okay, Frey, but we're not playing right now. Enchantress, plus 6% impetus damage. That's a lot of damage. Impetus doesn't do that much in the first place. Like, percentage-wise, right? Like, it hits really hard. Brewmaster, 2 seconds Thunderclap slow. I like that one. That's good. Brewmaster can definitely use that. Beastmaster, plus 1 boar summoned. At level 15, that's actually kind of neat. Zeus, plus 0.5 seconds Lightning Bolt mini-stun. Holy shit, that is nutty. That is nutty. Lycan, 12... Feral HP region. Oh, cool. Yeah. The Crystal Main, plus 50, freezing field damage. Shadow Shaman, plus 4, Void summoned. Visage, Soul Assumption Double Strike. Hits a random second target within cast range. Now, I assume it uses the same amount of souls that you used the first time, right? Like, that's what I assume how that works, else it would be terrible. Winter Arm, plus 1 second Cold Embrace. Witch Doctor, 2 Cask Bounces. Okay, nothing too crazy. Legion Command, 10% moment proc chance. Okay, that's pretty good. Keep of the Light, 300 Chakra Magic. Dazzle, 25 Poison Touch DPS. Let's go! Poison Touch Dazzle is so real, man. Gion, 40 Leash Seed damage, heal Sanking. Minus 50 Epicenter attack slow. Venomancer, Poison Sting slow. That's pretty strong. 14% on that. Poison Sting is the passive, so that's a lot of slowing there. Ancient Apparition, 8% Ice Vortex slow. Chen, 1000 creep health. That is nutty. Wow. Chen is good now. Disruptor, 40 Thunderstrike damage. Elder Titan, 200 mana. That's alright. I mean, it's in the early one, right? Io Tether stuns. Oh, we're bringing back the old Io. This is what Io used to do before they got nerfed into the ground. And I mean, he's still good, right? It tells you how broken old Io was. Macropire is pure and pierces magic immunity. Ooh, I can get behind that. I mean, that is... Wow, that is actually a crazy powerful ability then. If it's pure, like that is... This is not only pierces magic immunity, but it also increases the damage output by so much, right? It's crazy. This is actually really good. 75 cast range, remove teleportation. Oh my god. Wow, are you serious? Are you fucking serious? No cooldown. You gotta be shitting me right here, right? Okay, well, I already have, like, super PTSD here. Oh my god. Techies 250. Oh my god, guys. I think we know what we have to do. Oh my god, chat, push one if you know what we have to do. Guys, we have a duty. We have a duty. We have fate. Oh my god. Yep, that's a lot of ones. Chat knows what we have to do. Okay, let's go and finish up the rest though, right? So remember, we moved to a protection cooldown. 0.75 fortunes and max duration. Phoenix 20% experience gain. We've got 1 second decrepify duration. Shadowing 1.5 second shadow poison cooldown. That's actually pretty strong, this one. I like this one. I can definitely get behind this one. I think Phoenix gets a lot of value out of the experience too. So, Spirit Breaker, 30% greater bash damage. I don't know how much that matters. That's definitely like a tricky one to figure out. Templar Assassin, -8 melt armor reduction. That seems strong. Undying 15 health regen at level 10. At level 10 is crazy. And 250 attack damage on techies. Holy fucking shit, man. Holy fucking shit. Yeah. I think we all know what we have to do, but we're gonna look at that later. So, a reworked Ethelon's recipe now uses energy booster, void stone, and recipe. No more health regen. Seems reasonable. Blade Mayor, cooldown increased. Good. Blightstone no longer unique attack modifier. Seems fine. I don't really care. It's just a Blightstone. Bloodthorn, cooldown increased. Good. Bottle cost reduced. Good. Bracer, recipe cost reduced. Can you now start with Bracer? Wait, how much does Bracer cost right now? There's actually a pretty big change if you can. Dota 2 Bracer. How much does a Bracer cost right now? Like overall? Seriously? Is the Dota 2 wiki not going to give me the information how much a Bracer fucking costs? Are you fucking saying? No, 505. Right? 505 gold. You have 625 starting gold. So you couldn't really... This means you can now start out with a Bracer and Tangos. I don't know who that's going to be relevant for. Huskar? I guess. Nobody else really, but... This is actually a buff to Huskar. Funny. Funny how that works out, right? This is actually just a straight up buff to Huskar. Huh. That's interesting. Alright, Clarity. Buff is now purgeable. Yay. Crimson Guard. Duration increased. Yeah, good. I like that. I think Crimson Guard is a really good item. Or really cool item. That, we don't get to see that often, so yeah. Daedalus damage increased, good. It was just outshined by the Bloodthorn. With the Bloodthorn nerf and the Daedalus buff, it should kind of even it up a little bit. Now instantly kills illusions. That's an interesting one. Alright. That is definitely interesting. Alright. Demon Edge, cost reduced from 2,400 to 2,200, damage reduced. Yeah, does this affect the other items as well? I mean, it didn't affect the Daedalus. Daedalus actually got additional damage, so... I mean, you don't ever carry a Demon Edge around just to have a Demon Edge. What the fuck? Are you serious? Desolate is no longer a unique attack modifier. Wait, so what? Why even have them? Why even have that? Like, there's what is left in terms of unique attack modifiers? There's almost nothing left. The only unique attack modifier left is lifesteal. That's it. There's nothing there. Holy shit! This is insane. This is actually just crazy. Holy fucking shit. You can just stack Lifesteal, Desolator, and Skadi now. This is just a thing now. On OD if you want to. Right? You can buy Desolator on Anti-Mage. You can buy Desolator and Skadi on Anti-Mage. The only thing you can get is Lifesteal. Like, wow. If I'm not mistaken, Anti-Mage's Mana Break is the last one in terms of orb effects. So, the only reason why unique attack modifiers exist in the game is so Anti-Mage doesn't get Lifesteal. Are you fucking kidding me? Right, at that point, just remove them. Right, like, that's just dumb. That's... I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't mind having unique attack modifiers, but unique attack modifiers shouldn't exclusively exist to deny Anti-Mage Satanic, especially since Satanic isn't even that good anymore. Man, that's silly. Alright, Enchanted Mango cost reduced, cannot be sold, must be consumed. Aww. I tend to buy one early and then just sell it later. I mean, the health region is nice and I tend to not use it that often. So this is actually kind of, this impacts me directly and I feel very hurt. It makes sense though, right? It seemed too free. It seemed like you bought the mango and then you're like, oh, well, I guess I got my health regen now, and you never end up using it. Just sell it later for some free health regen for the entire early game. But yeah, that is, I don't know. Yeah, sure, whatever. Fairy Fire cost reduced. Reworked 4-staff recipe, a new Staff of Recipe, Ring of Health. So it uses the, wow. The cost stays about the same, though. Wait, did they just buff 4-staff? I mean, the build-up is a little bit worse, but not, like, super significantly. Oh, interesting. I didn't expect them to buff 4-staff. That's weird. Hand of Midas. Recipe cost increased. The experience multiplier increased. Gold bonus reduced. So, overall, I think the Hand of Midas is... Is it now better? It's, like, almost the same as before. It's probably still worse a little bit. Healing itself is now purgeable, now requires a vitality booster, a second vitality booster, strength bonus is reduced, health bonus increased. This is, you lose, how much strength? You lose 100 health and you gain 250 more. So Heart of Tarask is actually in most circumstances better. I can hardly think of a circumstance where it's not better. So that's actually really, really good. Oh my god. Can no longer be dispelled by spell. Heaven's Halberd is really good now. Now he uses a Ring of Health instead of an 800 gold recipe. Health regeneration increased. Some of the Dominator got buffed a bit. Mask of Madness requires a quarterstaff. Provides 20 damage and 10 attack speed. Can now be disassembled. Oh, that's actually really good. You can get this for early game. Later on, you just disassemble it into Satanic and Butterfly. Like, you can actually just get Mask of Madness on, who would like a Satanic and a Butterfly? Like a Troll Warlord? An Ursa? I don't know, right? But you can just safely get a Mask of Madness and later on just disassemble it. You don't even need to use the quarterstaff. Actually, this is actually a pretty strong buff. Like, I can definitely see a lot of use out of this. This seems pretty nice. Drow Ranger could totally use it. Yeah, Drow Ranger. Actually, I don't know. Drow Ranger's Q, I think, is also an orb effect. So you... Is it? It should be. Yeah, anyway. Cost reduced. Oh, it's cheaper now, too. Bonus damage reduced. Alright, that seems fine. Solar Crest. Reduced to 25% true strike chance on attacker. Solar Crest on enemies change from 25% miss chance on target to 25% true strike chance on attackers. Interesting. So now if I cast Solar Crest on some... Oh, Drow's Q is no longer an orb. Okay, well, what? Holy shit! You can't be serious. Okay. Solar Crest on enemies. So if I cast it on somebody, they are no longer missing, but there's a 25% chance we always hit them. Sure. Now, I guess half of the bonus night vision when consumed. Interesting. I don't think that's going to have too much of an impact, but it's going to be nice. You know, it's just a little buff here. Demonic summoning duration increased. That's cool. Just a small buff. Wards reduced. Radiance, damage, or illusions reduced. Good. Refresher Orb now replenishes. Refresh now replenishes charge-based abilities. Very happy about this. This is great. Rod of Atos. We worked Rod of Atos recipe. We've got 2 Staff of Recipe Vitality Boosters we had before. Now we have Staff of Recipe, 2 braces, and a recipe. Okay, who gets value out of this? 20 intelligence, 15 strength, 6 agility, 6 damage. I mean, the stats are worse. Yeah, no, these stats are actually just worse, right? But the build-up is easier. Especially since you can now start out with a brazier. So, does Huskar want the Staff of Rod of Atos? I mean, it wouldn't be too bad. I would actually try that. Right? I mean, it also uses a recipe now. This seems like a nerf. I don't know why they would nerf it. I don't know. Because like the wait, actually no, it isn't. No, never mind. I'm sorry, bad at math. It is a little bit of a nerf in terms of how much HP you get, but not really significantly. But you get 15 strength, so on strength heroes that's 15 damage. Which strength hero would like a Rod of Atos? It's not that many. I mean, Sand King, Brewmaster maybe? I don't know. Weird. We're definitely gonna have to see how this plays out. Rod of Atos on Skywrath. I mean, Rod of Atos on Skywrath was better before though. Like, because you have 2 staffs of wizardry, right? Like, you wanted the intelligence as a Skywrath. You wanted 30 intelligence. You get less intelligence now. You only get 20. As a Skywrath, this is actually worse. You don't care about strength or agility or damage. Like, none of this matters to you. So, I don't know. It's definitely an interesting one. I think this is a buff to certain heroes and a nerf to other heroes. Now, the question is just which heroes are actually going to go for this. Like, for example, an Underlord I can see wanting to buy Rod of Atos now, because their build-up is easier. But a hero like Skywrath, which really, I think Skywrath was the big hero that really wanted Rod of Atos, so it's just not as good anymore for him. Sage, recipe cost reduced. Yasha, recipe cost reduced. Attack speed reduced. Mantis, recipe cost increased. Oh, tripped me out right there, though. I'm paying attention, don't you worry about that. Scythe of Vice, cooldown reduced. Yeah, I like that. I think Scythe of Vice was an item that we hardly ever saw, ever, and it's kind of a shame. It's pretty strong, right? Like, I don't know. It's a cool effect. Reducing the cooldown seems reasonable. Shiva's Guard, recipe cost increased. Yep, why not? Silverch, recipe cost increased. Silverch is really good. Really good. Like, I'm not too surprised they keep nerfing it. Remember, when they first added this thing in, it didn't have a fucking... No, it didn't have, I think it was 150 gold, the recipe. So yeah, Soulwing now requires a mango. Mango. Mama's Day mango, let's go. No, requires a mango instead of 150 recipe. I don't think this is that big of a deal. But since you can't sell your mango anymore, I mean, I guess you might as well upgrade to into a Soul Ring. It is interesting that you can now use consumables as like a core thing for like as an upgrade item for big items. Like, that's not really something Dota ever did. They never let you use consumables as something you can upgrade. But now they are letting you do that, right? So Mango is now something you can get. Urn of Shadows now acts as proper regeneration rather than healing at frequent interval ticks. Good. I didn't like that Urn was such a weird effect. That just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so now requires infused raindrop. So again, going with the new mindset of like, hey, you know, here you go, have some, and I don't know, have your, wait, do you need a fresh raindrop for this? Okay, well, this is really confusing. Do you need a fresh raindrop, or can I just use, like, my one charge leftover raindrop? That's kind of weird. Are the stats better? 6 strength, +2, +2 armor. Yeah, the stats are probably better. 1 mana regen is better than 50% mana regen. So overall, this is probably a mild buff. This right here, it now acts as proper regeneration like a self, is a nerf. Because, like, the unique roles kind of made it like, the unique mechanics it had made it better, right? Because it was, like, stronger regeneration to some extent. More difficult to get rid of. But, yeah. Yeah, okay, chat is gonna go look if you need a fresh one for this. Because that's really interesting. Because then what I would do is I would buy my infused raindrop, wait until it only has 1 charge left, put it in my backpack, and then just build an urn. Alright, anyway. Alchemist, unstable concoction cooldown increased. That hardly matters. AoE increased, okay. I actually would argue that's a buff. Grievous Greed base bonus, gold reduced. Oh, that is a hard nerf. Holy shit. Bonus per stack increased. Okay, maybe it's not. No, that's still a nerf though. Oh, that is a hard fucking nerf. Poor Alchemist. Rip him. Grievous Greed bonus cap rescaled. Oh no. Yeah, rip Alchemist, man. He got hit hard. Okay, attack range increased on Ancient Apparition to 675. That's a lot. Is that the second highest in the game? I mean, Techie's got 700. I think Ancient Apparition now got the second highest. That's a lot. It works with 4 charges on the rain drop. So I assume if it works with 4 charges, it's probably going to work with 3 and 2 and 1, right? Attack range increased from 600 to 675. Ice Vortex movement modifier has a positive effect on Ancient Apparition. I get it. So you cast Ice Vortex, right? Everybody else gets slow, but Ancient Apparition gets to like go super speedy. That's kind of fun. Carry Apparition is super confirmed now though. Like 675 attack range totally is enough to justify playing a hero as a carry. Like seriously, it works with one bomby. That is nutty. Oh, that's actually super strong then. That's definitely above, because you can just buy a rain drop, wait until it's 1 charge, and got a long enough cooldown to just put it into your backpack, and then, yeah. Anyway, Axe. Reworked Scepter on Axe. Causes Battle Hunger to reduce enemy total damage output by 30%. Applies Battle Hunger on enemy heroes within a 700 AoE after a successful Cunning Blade. That in combination with the level 25 talent is actually crazy strong. But, 700 AoE. I'm gonna have to play with this one. Like, I think this Aghanim Scepter has the potential to be both insanely nutty, like super fucking busted, or just terrible, right? Like, it could be either one, right? Because, like, it's one of those things. Like, how often with Axe are you actually in a 700 AoE of people while you're using Culling Blade? I would argue quite frequently. I think that happens a bit. But then again, it's really something you just have to try. I don't really care about the damage output reduction. I don't think that's as important, but it's obviously going to help a bunch. Bane, reworked Bane Scepter. Bobby, why didn't you announce that you were going to do this? Because I didn't know there was a patch until after I started my stream. I just saw this, so hey. Anyway, reworked Bane Scepter causes Brain Sap to have a 1.5 second cooldown, pierce spell immunity. Bane, Agile Int growth increased by 0.3, matching near strength growth. Fiend Script deals damage every 0.5 seconds instead of every 1.0. Well, I'm not gonna say this makes Carry Bane viable, but I'm also not going to say that it doesn't. Like, mid-Bane is kind of a thing anyway. Bane has a good projectile, he has good damage, he's got good movement speed. He can stop people from getting runes, he's difficult to gank, and now he has a goal, right? If you get an Aghanims on this guy, Brain Sap is nasty. Like, Brain Sap is really fucking strong, and now it pierces spell immunity. And that doesn't just mean it goes through BKB, but it also means it goes, you know, like it deals damage through BKB because it is actually pure. So I'm just gonna say that there's a good chance this makes like mid-Bane viable to some extent. Although at the same time, support Bane is just so good that it may just be completely outshined. But yeah. Beastmaster. A Wild Axe's cast range increased from 1300 to 1500. Wild Axe's mana cost rescaled, replaced respawn talent. Don't care. Kind of cool. I like having the additional board. That's kind of funny. That means you can have 4 boards now, because you could have 2 active at the same time before, right? Having 4 is kind of nice. Blood Rite cooldown reduced. Blood Rite cast point reduced. Rip Bloodseeker. Bounty on a fixed Shuriken Toss Scepter, interrupting the chain if one of the target is spell immune. Oh, okay, sure. Mild buff, whatever. Drunken Ace cast point reduced from 0.3 to 0.2. Drunken Ace duration increased. Hurlbolter cast point decreased. Oh, that one was actually pretty big. The Hurlbolter cast point was a problem. It's really long. It's still long, but not as long. Drunken Brawler crit increased and respawn talent. You know what? I think this... I thought Brewmaster before was already on the cusp of being a really strong hero, right? Like, he was right there. He was just like a little bit away. He was missing just a little bit of additional power. Now, he can just go in, right? Like, I think he can definitely be really strong now. So this might, I'm gonna make the call. I think Brewmaster is gonna be a strong hero this patch. I don't think he needed a lot. I really don't. I think he has enough now to really justify picking him up. If it isn't possible, like if he isn't competitively viable, then it comes down to the Fire Spirit still just being really kind of squishy. But other than that, like if that isn't too big of a problem, then I think Brewmaster can actually, like, I believe in Brewmaster. Like, I think this is actually enough. Respawn talent 10% Dice wheel, yeah, whatever. Chaos Knight, reality with cast point reduced, that's good. Cooldown from, okay, just kind of a small buff, not too significant. Chaos Strike lifesteal increased. Illusion damage taken, oh, thank God. Like, look, the thing about Chaos Knight is I didn't think he was overpowered, but I thought he was unfair, and those are two separate things, right? The thing about Chaos Knight, when he gets going, you just can't stop him. Right? And that just comes down to the illusions being so fucking impossible to kill that it's like, right? It's just like, it just doesn't work. Like, if a Chaos Knight gets even just mildly out of hand, then you just cannot fight the guy anymore because he's got such powerful illusions, you cannot engage him. But I've had games where I was doing perfectly well. The safe lane was doing perfectly well. The only thing that was going on is that the bottom lane, our off lane, was getting shit stomped by Chaos Knight. And then, man, it just felt so impossible to do anything to him because the illusions just don't fucking die. And so I like this, you know? Like, I think this makes the hero, keeps him strong, right? But it makes him a little more fair. Which is something that I find important in a game, because it was just frustrating to play against them sometimes. Chen, Holy Appreciation cooldown reduced and replaced Respawn Talent. This is really strong. I think there's no way Chen is not going to be viable with this. Death Pack cooldown increase. What the fuck just happened? Death Pack cooldown increased to 85, duration increased to 65. That's interesting. That's definitely a big change. Not sure what to think about it. Respawn talent, okay, cool. Freezing field cooldown, yeah. Scepter, freezing field, not interrupting target. Oh, that's good. Plus 50 freezing field damage. That's actually pretty strong. I mean, freezing field hurts so bad. Yeah, Wall of Replica slow, rescaled from 1 second to, okay, good, seems reasonable. Poor Darkseer, he's always gonna be just mildly nerfed every single patch until he's eventually like... They are deleting Darkseer from the game 1, like, decimal at a time. 1 decimal at a time. Dazzle, rework Dazzle Scepter, causes Shadow Grave to be a 450 AoE. How does that even work? So you like click in an AoE and then everybody has Shadow Grave now. Everybody in that AoE now gets Shadow. I need to look at that one. That is just weird. Right? I don't think this is good. I'm gonna go and make the call. I don't think this is good. So this is gonna be good in a very, very few circumstances, right? Like, very often, I think Shadow Grave is just perfectly fine as, like, click on a guy. Right? Like, click on a guy and that guy is now protected. Like, usually you don't need to Shadow Grave more than one person. This doesn't seem good. And 450 AoE isn't even big enough. Like, if it was literally, like, everybody around you, right? Like, 900 AoE around you, all allies get Shadow Graved, then I think it would be good. But this seems to me like it's literally just meant to counter RP, which it's gonna be good at dealing with RP, but that's really the only thing. And, it's not gonna be enough to get a Dazzle to buy, an Aghanim's. I don't like this one. I'm unhappy about this one. I like the level 20 talent, though. Makes Poison Touch, carry Dazzle a little bit more viable. Sure, why not? It's not like it's gonna be good, but it's kind of funny. But yeah. Doom. Okay, this one we don't even really need to look at, right? Doom, Scourge Dwarf, healing damage, rescaled. Oh, nice. A little bit of a buff. Mana cost, rescaled. Remove critical strike from the small wolves in the jungle. Attack damage increased by the same amount. Oh, primarily affects this hero, allowing Doom to devour a small wolf without replacing the stored ability. Clever little change. I like stuff like this. I think this is a really clever buff to the hero that doesn't actually involve the hero. And you can see that this isn't in the neutral creeps, right? You see how this change actually has nothing to do with the hero. Right? This change to Dota has nothing to do with Doom. It applies to every other hero in the game as well. right? But they put it in the Doom patch notes because it is just something that really only affects this guy. I really like changes like this. I think this is great game design. This is really, really clever, really well done. I love that patch note. I know, people will be like, you're gonna be like, Bobby, what are you going on about? It's just some shitty bullet, like just some shitty patch note that doesn't really matter, right? But I think that is actually a work of art right there. That is beautiful. Dragon Knight, Eldorf, Dragon Form, Frost attack slow, increased. Sure. Matches movement speed reduction. That makes Dragon Knight a little bit more powerful. I don't think that actually matters that much. I mean, it was basically impossible to run away from Dragon Knight in the first place once he hit you with the Dragon Form. So, yeah. Frost arrows are no longer a unique attack modifier. That's a huge buff to Drow Ranger. That is super strong. Replace respawn talent. It doesn't tell me what level this is at. Chat, if you could tell me where is the respawn talent at, like what level is Earth Spirit's respawn talent, then we can kind of figure out how strong this actually is. Because if this is at level 25, I don't think it's relevant. But if this is at level 25, I actually think it's a nerf to the hero. If it's earlier than that, I can see it as a buff. But as it is, I think at level 25, Earth Spirit doesn't get to level 25, guys. Like, Earth Spirit just does not get to level 25. So I don't really think. Yeah, I think this is a nerf. I think it is easier for Earth Spirit to get to level 20, not to get an Aghanim Scepter than it is for him to get to level 25. Right? I think it is easier for him to have 4,200 gold than it is to be level 25. As such, I think this is a nerf. Earthshaker. Enchant Totem has True Strike. Oh, cool. Slight Legends of Dota buff. This won't really matter in regular Dota. Replace respawn talent 350 Fisher range. That seems nice. Elder Titan. Astral Spirit Hero bonus damage increased. Earth Splitter radius increased. Respawn talent removed. 200 mana. This seems like a nice buff. Base intelligence increased. Enchant slow. Duration rescaled. Okay, cool. Enchant slow. Oh, but much harder slow. So is this actually worse or better now? I mean, if you just look at these numbers, right? Like there's a 20 here, there's a kind of a 22. We've got a 5.5, 55%, right? Like, so the numbers kind of match up a little bit. They're kind of the same as before. The overall slow, I suppose, that happens is the same. I think this is actually, like, I think this is just kind of like keeps it the same, right? This right here is pretty strong though, 6% impetus damage. Yes, this is nice, 1% Malefice instance, I like that. Time dilation slow per effective cooldown increased from 10% to 14%. So, wait, Dota, you got that one wrong. It should say from 0% to 0%. Because this shit never fucking hits anything. Gyrocopter, movement speed increased from 350 to 320. Homing missile initial delay reduced from 3 to 2.5 seconds. Okay. Yeah. He's pretty fast now, so I guess that's good. Leap speed increased. Nice, I like that. I think leap is a little bit slow, so having a little bit of a more speed on this seems nice. And leap damage dealt, taken, buffed a bit. Yeah, sure, why not? Seems reasonable, right? Like, whatever, it doesn't really matter. How does this work with Aghanims? With Aghanims, does Aghanims still put him at 35%? Right, because Aghanims was the thing that, like, made him deal a lot of damage, but he didn't actually deal a lot of damage himself. Oh, it didn't take a lot of damage himself. So, because if that's how it works, I feel like, I don't know. I think Aghanims is actually just, like, with the leap speed increase, you know, you can also get the cast range increase, you get Aghanims. Aghanims and Oscar is fucking sick, man. Replace respawn talent, Tether stunts. Like, this is the same thing that I said with Earth Spirit, but it's just like, IO is not going to get to level 25. I have never in my life seen a level 25 IO. I don't think this matters. Like, this is going to be nice in 1 out of 100 games. But most of the time, it's just not going to matter, right? But it is pretty powerful, right? This is a strong talent, don't get me wrong. It doesn't say how long it stuns, so imagine it's for the slow duration. It's good, don't get me wrong, it's just a level 25, so it won't matter. Dual buff radius increased, dual buff end radius increased, so just kind of making Jakiro a bit more powerful, and then Macropie Pure and Pierce's magic immunity. Same deal here, right? He's not really gonna get to level 25, but if he does, right, and if you can actually play like some sort of carry Jakiro. I believe in the carry Jakiro. I know I'm the only person in the fucking world to believe in carry Jakiro, but I do believe in carry Jakiro. So, yeah. Oh, that's a big one. Okay, this is not that interesting. Ghost Chip now always crashes where Kunkka targets it. Spawns the appropriate distance behind him to throw the full 2000 units. So made Ghost Chip easier to use. This is very important. Now, this is a huge change. You can now use it right in front of you. It makes Aghanim so much easier to use. It travels 2000 units away. So does it have 2000 units cast range? Because if so, I can actually like immediately cast the 2000 units away and like just drag people 2000 units away. That's actually pretty nutty. So I think this is a really strong change. It won't really affect the pro scene too much, although it will still have an impact there. Like this kind of thing shouldn't be underrated. Right, like you would say, well, the pros are always gonna hit it anyway. Yes, but ease of use isn't just about being able to hit it. Ease of use is something like, hey, you know, like I don't need to properly position myself anymore. I can't just click somewhere and it's gonna hit there. I don't need to like make sure I'm at the exact right location. That is actually a pretty big change. It is not about just making it easier, right? Like this does make it easier. It does also have a different impact though, right? Positioning is now less important with Kunkka, but just a straight up buff. Of course, that makes Kunkka a little bit easier to play, but frankly, Kunkka is kind of hard to play anyway, right? Even with this, Kunkka will still be difficult. Overwhelming odds mana cost increased. Dual Scepter now additional grants spell immunity to your hero during duel. But I am now always buying Aghanims on Legion Commander. Are you fucking serious? Like, I actually suggested this ages ago. I mean, that makes it a core item, right? You get Blink, Blade, Mail Aghanims. You don't need BKB anymore. I mean, what do you need BKB for? You just want BKB for the fucking duel anyway. Yeah. I think this is literally just like this just made Legion Commander Aghanims a core item on the hero. Like, this is super good. This is so strong. Reworked Lasher Acceptor. While Post Nova is active, every 1.57 seconds Lightning Storm will hit one random unit within 750 AoE. Prioritizes heroes. So I imagine this will bounce, or will it not? Can somebody test that? People in the chat, please do me a favor. Check if the Post-Nova Lightning Storm bounces. That is huge if it does. If it doesn't, then it's less significant. I think this is still a buff. I think this still is good. Aghanims was nice on the Shark anyway. This is a strong effect. If Lightning Storm bounces, this is definitely going to be a yes from me. Like, you were going to see this. If it doesn't, then I'm going to give it a no, probably. It doesn't bounce. I'm still thinking this might be alright, though. I don't know. I'm gonna have to try this one out, right? This one... Okay, so chat is saying it does bounce. Like, come on. Okay, so I've got 50% of people telling me it doesn't bounce and the other 50% that it does. So go and figure it out. Seems like more people are now saying that it does bounce. If it does bounce, if you get the level 25 Talon with the additional Lightning Storm slow, this is actually fucking nutty. Right? So this is actually kind of crazy then. If it doesn't bounce, I think this might still be powerful. Anyway, we'll see. Right, like, I do kind of want to try this out, though. I think this might actually be one of the first ones I'll try out. Lich, Chain Frost, slow increase, respawn, replace respawn talent plus 40 movement speed, replaced respawn talent plus 75 cast range. It does not bounce. Is it confirmed that it does not bounce? Okay. Alright, let's just say we'll test it ourselves. Non-druid, rapid attack speed increased, rapid duration rescaled, rapid cooldown reduced. So, overall, a buff. This might, I don't know. I don't really know how this is going to impact. I'm not a big Lone Druid player. I'm not going to try to make any assumptions about this. Loosen Beam cast animation reduced from 0.6 to 0.5. Small buff. Yeah, small change there. Movement speed reduced. Oh, thank God. Fucking nerf Magnus, please. Movement speed reduced. Reworked Magnus Scepter. Shockwave comes back, hitting units a second time, applying a 60% slow for 2 seconds. Distance and travel speed are increased by 50%. Return wave deals half damage to creeps. Okay. Well, I mean, it's clearly still worse than the previous one. But, well, actually, no, is it? No, it's probably not. I mean, that was really weird. That is weird. 1600 range Skewer, of course, with the 500 Skewer range. But it's level 25. Look, the thing is, like, everybody always freaks out about these level 25 talents. I don't think they matter. Right? Added Scepter for Medusa, or they don't matter for most heroes, right? In most circumstances. They're just not that crazy. They can be super insane. But yeah. So this Shockwave thing, I don't think Magnus needs a farming item per se, right? Like he has Empower, which is the best farming spell basically in the game. Yeah, I don't really know. Doesn't seem that strong, honestly, but we'll have to wait and see, right? I don't think we'll see this one. It comes down to really how easy it is to hit people with the return wave, I think. That's what matters, because the slow is significant, right? Like, how easy is it to hit with the return wave? We'll have to wait and see. Medusa, added Scepter for Medusa. Causes Mystic Snake to turn enemies into stone for 1 second, increases by 0.2 seconds per bounce. No idea how strong that is. It seems powerful. It seems like just like a stun with the Mystic Snake, like a huge AoE thing. Could be strong, could be insane, could be terrible. We'll have to wait and see, right? Especially since Aghanim's is not a good item for Medusa. Mirana base damage increased by 3. Mistawsum second impact delay reduced. Leap bonus speed reduced from 10 seconds to 5. Leap attack speed bonus increased. Okay. Doubled it. Okay. Whew. Makes it more committal. Not sure how that's going to impact it. Like, this is one way, again, I'm not too sure of. Seems kind of like, could be going both ways. Monkey King, Wukong's command no longer provides bonus damage, provides you with bonus armor, no longer copies Basher, Bristleblade. Attack rate improved from 2.0 to 1.7. Well, rest in peace of Monkey King. Okay, fixed tree jump, yeah. Fixed tree jump causing Monkey King to temporarily have bigger vision and define day-night values. A rib Monkey King. Chat, put your ribs into the chat. Let us all remember the cancer that was Monkey King, for it is now over. It has come to an end. Yes. I don't think we'll see much more Monkey King anymore. Like, this is harsh, man. This is them saying, fuck this hero, right? Poor rib Monkey King, man. Alright. Morphling, adapt the strike mana cost, rescaled to 80. Okay, Naga Siren, Song of the Siren, cast time increased. Song of the Siren cooldown rescaled. Oh, Song of the Siren is now pretty weak. It's not too weak, but much weaker than before. Song of the Siren range rescaled. Okay. It's gonna make it tricky. Oh, the 14 radius. This is actually a nerf. Cheeky Dota, look at that shit. Look at how cheeky they are here. Holy fucking shit here. Look at this. Look at this. You would think, okay, goes from 1000 to 1200 to 1400. So at max level, it is now better than it was before at 1250. The thing is, 1250 was already too much. Like, this is not an effect that is purely beneficial, right? This is not an effect that does damage or slows people. It's an effect that has, like, both upsides and downsides. At 1250 range, it was really difficult to get, like, great, amazing usage out of it. 1400 makes it so big, it just becomes impractical. Like the whole Naga strategy where you sleep their team and push the barracks, that doesn't work as well with 1400 range. It becomes worse. It becomes more difficult to use. This is actually, like, it might work better with Aghanims, like support Naga or something like that, but carry Naga doesn't appreciate this. This is actually, I think this is a nerf in disguise. This is them being very cheeky and just like kind of like taking a little bit away, right? Mirror Image Illusion, damage taken, rescaled. Okay, yeah, rip illusions, they've been nerfed. Because early game doesn't matter, you don't want to use them early game anyway. The only thing that matters here is the last number. The last number is worse. Riptide damage increased minimally, so hardly matters. Ensnare cast point reduced, ensnare mana cost rescaled, also decreased. Overall, pretty big nerfs to Naga Siren. Yeah, man, I'm glad I played a Naga Siren game recently. I don't want to play her again now. That was some pretty big nurse, man. Yeah, she's much weaker than she was before, which is probably for the best. She's kind of like a rude little hero. Okay, this one is kind of funny. We'll see how that plays out. Ghost Shroud and heal amplification increased. Nice necro buff. Always happy about that. Hunter in the Night can now be activated during the night to grant Night Stalker Fly. What? You can't be serious. Come on, guys. You gotta be shitting me. Yes, we get he has wings. Right? He can fly now. Are you fucking shitting me? Oh my god. Look at me. I am a bat. I can fly. Flapping my wings. Oh my god. Alright. Alright, Dota. Fortune's End is now a root rather than a slow that sets the target. I mean, this is clearly a buff, right? It's much better. Like, it's a strong thing for Batman here. Like, so Batman is now pretty strong. Like, I mean, it is definitely just a straight up buff. We'll see how it works out. I have no doubt it's powerful. No doubt. Fortune's End is now a root rather than a slow that sets the target to 0. Movement speed, replaced respawn talent. Fortune's End projectile speed from 1200 to 1000. Purifying Flame cast range increased. Minor changes, not that significant. The root is a buff though. Fortune's End now being a root is definitely a buff. Reworked Outward Devour's Scepter. Thank you. It grants 2 charges to Astral Imprisonment, increases cast range by 300. Damage area stack. Replenish time 12. Huh. Grants 2 charges. Does that mean it has 3 over all charges? Or does it mean it has 2 over all charges? It's a pretty big difference. We'll have to see how that one plays out. I don't think OD will want to go for this. OD these days doesn't really have a slot for Aghanims. So this better be really good for OD to start buying Aghanims now. So it's plus 2 charges, according to chat. So if it's plus 2 charges, I can maybe see this being useful. But otherwise, probably not. Fixed Doppelganger Illusion, lasting 1 less second than intended. Okay. Phantom Rush agility bonus is now granted before the first hit lands rather than after. I don't know what the fuck the point was of this, like, agility bonus in the first place, right? Like, the way it was before, it was so fucking dumb. Like, charge somebody, gain agility for half a second. Oh shit, you couldn't get out an attack in half a second. Good luck with your agility. Like, what the fuck is the point? It's so dumb. So dumb. So now this makes a lot more sense. That is a significant buff. They juxtapose max illusions increase from 5.579 to 6.810. Seems reasonable. Fire Spirit's duration increased from 16 to 20. Replace respawn talent. Okay, all good. All good. Life Drain now grants True Sight Vision over the target. What? Life Drain now grants True Sight. That's nutty. Oh shit. Rip. Life Drain now, cast range now reduced from 900 to 800. Rip. Life Drain now has a 100 range break buffer. So it's actually 900. Breaks at 900 range. So it's actually 900 range. Plus 1 second decrepify duration. So if we get 900 range, we get like the 100. I think he has a 100 range talent. And then we get 220 from the Evil Lance, 1200 range overall. I'm gonna argue this is still a buff. Like, the range got dumpstered, as Infinite Space Paradox puts it so nicely. The range really did get dumpstered, but the True Sight is a huge deal. I mean, I like playing Carry Pugner. You may notice everything I discuss is just like, hey, I like playing this hero in this weird role. But I like playing this support as a carry. I like playing Carry Pugner. My problem is always that they fucking run out of vision, right? Like, with this they can't do it anymore, so I think this is actually a pretty good change. Definitely makes my maximum cast range build in Legends of Dota a whole lot stronger. Because now I don't need track. Queen of Pain, our 25 talent from no Shadow Strike cooldown to 550 AoE Shadow Strike. This to me is hilarious. This is fucking hilarious to me, right? So, when the talents got introduced, they gave Queen of Pain 70% spell lifesteal. And it very quickly became clear that is fucking busted as shit, right? Like, that is just, like, what the fuck, man? That's super broken. The other talent was just terrible. So they kept changing it. And they kept buffing it, right? Their first, like, Shadow Strike now does 7 billion damage. It now doesn't have a cooldown. And now they're just like, fuck it, have an AoE. Now, how does the 500 AoE work? Do you select an AoE? Do you click on a guy and it selects the AoE around him? Is it still single target? Is it now an AoE ability? That all is stuff that comes into consideration here. Funnily enough, I'm going to make the call. This is still not better than spell lifesteal. Right, like that's the thing. This is why I think this is so funny, right? They're just like, okay, have this absurd thing, and everybody's like, yeah, but spell lifesteal is better. Okay, how about this even more absurd thing? Yeah, but spell lifesteal, you know? Okay, you know what? Fuck it. Let's amp it up to 700. Have AoE Shadow Strike, and everybody's like, yeah, but this is spell lifesteal. Right? Like, you get why I think this is so funny. I have to storm prioritize striking static linked heroes. That's a good. Oh, these are good. I have to storm no longer as a cast point. These are huge buffs. This means he's really good at chasing down people, right? Like, before you needed to take a quick break while hunting people with Eye of the Storm, you no longer have to do that. You can cast it while running. So that's really, really big. Prioritizing static linked heroes is also really nice. You can just beat people up. I like that. Good buff. Good buff. Razor needed a little bit of something. This is really nice. You selected AoE, a huge one. Oh, wow. We definitely gotta look into this one. This is funny. 550 AoE is pretty fucking big, man. Base movement speed reduced by 5. Okay, yeah. Rip Ricky. Sanking, Caustic Finale is no longer a unique attack modifier. Of course. I mean, the only one that has a unique attack modifier is fucking Anti-Mage, right? Sandstorm, Invisibility, Linger Duration rescaled from 1.5 to 1.5. Sandstorm, DPS rescaled to 100. Look, I don't really care about the rescaling too much. This is a little bit of a buff, though. Makes jungling early on a bit easier. Shadow Demon, Shadow Poison mana cost reduced. Soul Catcher now spreads its amplification among all the enemies in the AoE. That is very interesting. That makes Soul Catch look like the thing is this is a big buff, I think. Because you can still do what you did before, which is just like single out the target, Soul Catcher it, and then have the maximum amplification there, right? But it now just gives you the option in a big team fight, because oftentimes, you know, enemy heroes right on top of a bunch of crepes, and you're just like, fuck, I just can't use this ability now. It just doesn't do anything, right? Now at least does a little bit of something. So I think this is a pretty cool thing here. Minus 1.5 seconds Shadow Poison cooldown. What's the cooldown of Shadow Poison in the first place? I think it's pretty low, right? Like, is it Shadow Demon? Isn't it like 2 seconds or 2.5? I don't think it's a lot. I think it's really, really low. Shadow Demon has 2.5 seconds, so it's a 1 second cooldown. Carry Shadow Demon, pretty viable. Shadow Fiend, yeah, okay. Shadow Raise damage, sure. Seems reasonable. Base damage increased by 6. Hits like a fucking tank now. Mass Serpent Ward base attack range increased by 50. Plus 4 wards summoned. Yeah, seems good. Right, like, this seems all reasonable. Now, Shadow Demon, a literal tank. Silencer, reworked Silencer, Scepter, Glaze now appears spell immunity and deal 100% more damage against Silence units. Wow! That is interesting. I like Carry Silencer pretty good, I think. You know, you get Carry Silencer, and if you see you're going up against a lot of PKP, you get Aghanims. I mean, Carry Silencer can actually afford Aghanims. Like, that's the thing. Like, most carries, most like core heroes, they don't want to buy an Aghanims because the stats that it gives you aren't that great. But Silencer can actually do it. Like, Silencer is actually one of the heroes where it's fine. You have so much damage output anyway. You can just get an Aghanims. It's fine. It's Gucci. Yeah. Shadow Roster shot is starting with 71 to 78. What the fuck? Oh my god. Shadow Shaman hitting, like, again, literal tank. Now 15 talent from 75 damage to 10% spell lifesteal, good. I don't know why he had 75 damage, just pointless. The Scarif Mage is never gonna click on people. Intelligence gain reduced, yeah, fuck stock, I'm supportive of that. Haunt cooldown rescaled, 180 seconds, wow, that's pretty long. That's a pretty big nerf. Spectre does need those early haunts, so that's actually a pretty big change here. Spirit Breaker, again, I don't know how good this is, I have no idea. God Strength now grants a bonus 40 strength when activated. It means it gives you 80 damage. No, actually it's more. It gives you 120 damage. Nope, they nerfed that. Okay. Attack bonus reduced. But that's still nutty. It gives you 800. That's... Wow. That is really, really strong. That is very powerful. Right, like, so let's assume the following. You have 100 damage, right? You have 100 damage, just how much damage you have, right? All of it is base. You activate God's Strength before, you now have 300 damage. You activate God's Strength now, you have... How much? You getting 80, you gain 80 there, you gain 60% as well. What's 60% of 40 is a 24, so you gain 104. You're at 364, so you actually gained 64 damage. That's a lot. Right, you gained 64 damage there. That's pretty strong. This right here is of course fucking hilarious, right? Agility gain reduced. That's a big nerf. 2.7 to 2.3. Metamorphosis movement speed loss increased. He is also affected by the general illusion damage reduction. Oh, that is so funny that they put that note there. This is essentially saying, yeah, guys, don't worry. Fuck Terrorblade. We're on the same page with you. That's funny. Gush mana cost rescaled. Aghanim Gush now does a small ground reveal on units that are hit. Cool, I like that. Base damage increased by 4. Ground now increases crag exterior chance by 10%. That's pretty good. So, I don't think the 6 or 8% are gonna matter all that much, because Tiny maxes out Craggy Exterior last every single time. The earliest level you skill Craggy Exterior as Tiny is level 11. You don't skill it any earlier than that, ever. So the only thing that's going to be relevant there is like the 8%, since you're almost level 12 at that point, right? So let's just say 10%, but 35% on Craggy Exterior is actually pretty good. Alright, that is kind of nice. The base damage increases. Silly. Tiny hits really hard anyway, like, I don't really get the point of that. That seems unnecessary, but sure, I mean, it's still a buff. Nature's Guise now applies a full disarming root rather than a bash on attack. Okay, so you can still cast things. Seems fair. Definitely better than before, right? Like, I feel like Nature's Guise before was a little broken, so I'm glad to see that. Improved consistency of Ice Shard when pushing units in and out of the Ice Shards on impact. Dude, I'm happy about that. Like, I think we all know that, right? Like, he casts the Ice Shard, and he's just like, I got him. And he's on the other side. And he's just like, what? I got him, though. like, no, I had him. So that should hopefully make that better. Ice Shards now starts the blocker at the cast location, rather than centering the blockers around the cast location. Okay, I'm not sure how that's going to play out. We're going to need to try that. Cast range increased by 200 to make up for this, right? As a result of the other change, the effective cast range would have been 200 less. Okay, and Ice Shard speed increased from 1100 to 1200. So what this means is the blockers are now where you cast them, so you want to click where you want to block off the path. Okay, that makes sense. Underlord. Atrophy Aura rescaled, buffing him a little bit. Atrophy Aura counter now lingers through death. I don't really think that's gonna matter too much. Underlord Scepter. Atrophy Aura bonus damage is now granted to nearby allied heroes for half the bonus. Increases damage duration by 40 seconds. So that's probably why the aura now lingers through death, because of that Aghanims. I have no idea how strong this Aghanims is. We'll have to wait and see. I think Underlord is definitely a hero that can use an Aghanims. So I think so an Aghanims effect for a hero that like can just get an Aghanims and be happy with it generally needs to be weaker to be worthwhile, or like can be weaker to be worthwhile than other heroes, like for example like an anti-mage. So this could definitely be good enough to justify getting Aghanims on Underlord, right? But we'll have to wait and see. Undying, sure. Rip Ursa, rest in pieces, unplayable. Vengeful Spirit, Wave of Terror, cooldown reduced, or rescaled. Oh. Well, it's a buff. But it's kind of neat. Well, actually, I don't know. Like, early game it's weaker. And with Vengeful, that really matters. Vengeance Aura reduced. Okay, yeah, makes sense. I mean, Vengeance Aura is really kind of strong. Replace Respawn Talent. This one, I don't know. This doesn't seem better than the Void thing, but maybe it is. We'll see. Minimizer doesn't usually get to level 25, so this doesn't really matter. Viper Strike now deals its first tick of damage immediately. Good. I like that. Makes blinking away from it impossible, which is nice. Or less possible. It's still possible to dodge it, but if you get hit by it, I don't think you should be able to blink if you get hit by Viper Strike. And that's something you could do before. So I'm glad you can't do that anymore. And cooldown reduction, yeah, sure. Grave Chill, duration increased. Nice. Small buff there. Soul Assumption, double strike. Sure. Chaotic Offering, mana cost increased. Aw, that sucks a little bit. Wind Ranger level 20 talents on our Windrun What? Windrun grants invisibility? That's weird. Okay. Well, I guess it's a wind walk, strictly speaking, right? Interesting. 12 and 120 power shot damage. Sniper Refresher gets 14 shrapnels at level 25. That's funny, yeah, you're right about that. Put your ho-ho ha-has into the chat to celebrate our 14 charges Overlord. Wind Ranger level 20 talents on our Windrun grants invisibility, 120 power shot damage, 30% cooldown reduction, 150 attack range. I'm not sure how good these are. Have to wait and see. Winter Wyvern, Winter's Curse attack speed from 70 to 85, plus 1 second cooldown brace duration. Sure. Scepter now additional provides true strike to death. Oh, that's good. That's a good one. That's actually a kind of nice buff right there. I can get behind that. Plus 2 cask bounces at level 15. Sure, that's nice. 20 strength to 10% more per life speed aura. To reincarnation casts Ray Fire Blast. Whoa! What? That is nutty. No, that's super good. Dude, it's like a fucking... Okay, this is the next level strategy, right? Blink in, Bloodstone. It's like a Ravage. Just kind of shitty. Look at Warlock. We already looked at Warlock. I know. Respawns Talon, like summons a golem on death. We talked about that earlier. I think that's really cool. New strategy, man. It's like a Ravage. Just really shit and you need to be level 25. Oh, that's funny. And then this one I think is really powerful. Alright. Fuck yeah. New patch. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited too. We're gonna make a lot of content about this, as much of it as I can. And yeah, anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to leave a rating on the video. Let me know what you want me to tell you about first. Like, what things do you want to see about, like, about this new patch? What do you want to learn about it? What can we discuss? What can we try out? What would make for cool videos? Let me know! Anyway, I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.